video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Finally got to sit down and make this video for you guys. This video is long overdue, so I'm gonna make this video perfect and full of lots of information so you guys can get the best results. By the title, I'm gonna be talking about why you should be a vendor at vendor events, the pros and cons, and what I learned from being a vendor. Now being at 2 vendor events so far. I have a book here that is giving me the list of what I want to talk about, so I'm just gonna go step by step and from the top to the bottom explaining each aspect of preparing to be a vendor at vendor events. So I'm just gonna start with the pros of being a vendor at the vendor event. So one of the pros is business exposure. So being a vendor at events gives you a lot of exposure to your business because you're going to an event, you're meeting your customers, and you're selling your products personally to your customers up front. So it really gives you a way to be personal with customers, to kind of have that connection, build connection, because in business it's all about building connection with your customers and showcasing your products. Coming and buying products from your shop would really give you that look, like make your business pop. Also, it's just good branding because you can show off your brand on one table. It's like a little storefront, but it's like a table, so it's kind of like a star. It's a really good interactive way to bond with your customers. I'm not gonna really say the cons yet. I'm gonna start off with just pros. Another pro is that you make sales quicker. So as I was saying, even if you're local, if it's online, you might not get much sales all the time. So if you become a vendor at a vendor event, you could actually make upfront sales and make sales a little bit quicker. My experience, my first vendor event, I was really good. I actually made, I think about 30 sales, 25 to 30 sales. I'm sure, but I actually made a good enough profit. I was really lucky. My first vendor event, it was out in New York, Brooklyn, but I hadn't made that much sales from my online. So going there and selling for my first vendor event, making sales quicker was really good for me. I was able to have money to buy back more products to make more inventory because I made sales quicker. So number 1, if you don't have a pencil by now, you need a pencil because I'm giving you all the tips, all the goodies to just have a bomb vendor event. So write number 1 on your paper and I'm going to be explaining to you. You see already a vendor event that you're going to go to, you need to calculate the table cost. Because vendor events, they have fees and they have like table cost and it's not free, so there's a price to get in. So you need to calculate the table cost, or if they're paying, or if you have to even bring in your own table, how much it will cost to be a part of that event, to be a vendor. So you need to calculate that because you need to budget that into everything else that you're gonna need. So you need to budget the cost of the vendor event or the table cost into, if you have that, and if you can pay for that additionally, and also pay for buying inventory to make your products and other costs. So you need to calculate that. Calculate, if you see a vendor event, the location, gas money, how are you gonna get there? So calculate table costs, but calculate how much you're going to, how much it costs, and if that's affordable for you and your budget. So you need to calculate the table cost. For that, you figured out, okay, it cost me $100 or $130. I haven't seen some vendor events, depending on the places or the location, it's kind of around 130-ish, but it may go for 200. It depends who's hosting the vendor event, really. But after that, you need to make a budget, because all about this vendor events, that's a little bit of a con. It's a little bit expensive, so it's a little bit pricey. So you need to kind of plan all that out. So you need to start a budget. So when you're writing your budget, you need to consider inventory, you need to consider decorations, you need to consider quantity. You wouldn't really know the amount of traffic that's gonna come in there, so you just need to plan ahead and make a lot of product. So your quantity is gonna be larger. Hopefully your quantity will be larger of products. But if it's your first vendor event, I wouldn't say make a whole bunch of products, because it's kind of a little bit of con, kind of like sneaking cons in there. But a little bit of a con is that you might not make sales right away. Like some vendor events are not really successful and you may lose some profit. So you need to kind of figure out how much products, the quantity, the different type of products, if you have different variety of products, all of that. Let me start before I get into that. But make a budget. How much are you gonna bring? What are your different products you're gonna bring? How much of it you're gonna bring? How much is that gonna cost you? Plus the table, and then decorations. Decorations, that is a whole thing, because when you're trying to figure out what you want to put on your table and what brings out your business, and to just make your table attractive to customers, it could be a little challenging to kind of figure that out, and kind of like the worst, I don't want to say the worst part, it's like good and bad, trying to figure out the decorations and figure out which go here, good and bad, and kind of buy the props. But you can also, there's decoration for vendor events like tables online, which I kind of looked and see, oh, that looks nice, and some are over the top, so you have to figure out if you want yours over the top or you just want yours standard. But it all depends on the quality of your products and what you're bringing out, what you're pitching to your customer. So it all depends on you, but that's what you also have to plan out, because that also goes in your budget, the cost of props, the cost of decorations, and things like that. For me, I already had like some inventory, so I just added a little bit more and a little bit of different products and just made a little bit more. So I didn't really have to spend that much because I already had a whole bunch of products, so I didn't really have to. I think I had almost close to 70 or 80 glosses. No, 70 or 80 products in total. I had a lot of glosses, and I had lip scrubs and chopsticks. So I had a good combination of a lot of products and a variety. I didn't have much, but I still had products left over, but I still made a good amount of money. So once you figure out your quantity, then you can say how much you want to price your products for at the vendor event. So this is kind of something you have to think about. Do you want to upsell or do you want to keep it the same? Some people will upsell because online, you know, you have to try to consider for your customers the shipping, so you would put it down. But now it's no shipping, it's just handling. So you can probably charge it the regular price. Like for me, if you're selling lip gloss, which is small, I sold mine for $5. Usually online, I would sell it for $3.50 or $4, but I sold it for $5. I just marked it up. So I just marked it up to $5 instead of $3.50 or $4, which I would usually sell it for online. So I marked it up to $5. It's not ripping off. It's trying to make some profit because it took you money and hard work to get there. So once you figure out the price of your different products, you figure out which price you want to mark it up or keep it the same, then vendor events is not mostly, but when people go to vendor events, they're looking for deals, they're looking for combos, bundles. This is the thing that I really missed out on, but I really didn't pay attention to. I just was paying attention to selling my products. Is that people mostly, I still made a good enough amount of sales, but for actual like other vendor events, customers are mostly looking for discounts, money off, because you want to make those sales quicker. So figure out what deals you want to do. Do you want to do a package? Do you want to do a bundle? Do you want to do a giveaway? You could do giveaways, you could do raffles at your table, all things to make you money and sales and attraction. So consider that too. If you want to do a sale, 5% off. If you buy two or more get one free, do all of that. I think I started when I did my first vendor event, I was just buying. I didn't have any sales. I have bundles, but I didn't really market them. Like I didn't really talk about them, which I really should have done, but I'm going to talk about that more often. But I really should have said, oh, we have bundles, which I'm going to get into that. But I really just was selling my products, and then towards the end where I was about to close, I was like, okay, buy one get one free, things like that, and then sales started to come in. So just figure that out, and that's all added to your budget, because if you're doing a sale, if you're doing a bundle, that may take away some from your profit because you're giving more, but you're getting more. Next is to pick a theme and table setup. So this one was really hard for me because I didn't really have a theme in the beginning. I'm still all over the place. Like I really don't know my color scheme. I'm having trouble with colors and all of that. But if you already have yours set down already, like what colors represent your brand, figure out if you want that to be on your table. It should be on your table because it is your brand. But me, I had a banner. So even if my table didn't have really like colors, because my table was gonna be so bland, literally. Even if my table I didn't have like a set color theme, I would have my banner, which was pink. My color scheme should just be pink. But I had a banner. Didn't end up using the banner because the banner was like this tall. I have a video up unboxing my banner. It was really tall and it was no space, and the tables are kind of crowded together. So to add that big banner and we're trying to like move around, it was too much. So I didn't bring the banner. Well, I brought the banner, didn't use the banner. But yeah, oh, also banners, you can get a banner too. That's also additional cost to your budget, because if you want a banner, sure, that all goes in decorations. Banners is optional, but it really bring out your business as well. Okay, I really recommend when you're trying to set up your table and things like that, get all the props, get all the decorations, get all your products. You should be already done prepping your products, making your products when you're doing the table setup. You should already have your decoration. You should already pick a theme. You should already have all that when you're going to set up your table. Is that talking too fast? Sorry, I feel like I'm talking fast. So when you do a table setup, I would recommend you have a table. You would set up your table before the event or a week before if you need to change anything or add any decorations, just to see what kind of look you want. I want to insert a picture of my table. I really loved how it came out. I had flowers, I had all of that. I really loved how my table looked. My table's second vendor event wasn't really giving, but it was because I was moving. My first one was in New York and then my second one was in Florida. So it was because I had to transfer all my products over here for that vendor event, so I didn't really have all the props and all the things that I needed. So I had to do what I had to do, and I had to use what I had to use. So you set up your table beforehand, because you only have an hour to set up usually, or 30 minutes to set up your table until people start rolling in. So you don't want to be all over the place while people rolling in trying to buy. That's not professional. You need to have it done already. Next is payment method. I don't know if I'm going too fast, but next is payment method. So this kind of was my issue. It wasn't really an issue, but it was something I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Do I want to take cash? Do I want to have a payment processor? What do I want to do? So I decided to go with cash, but it depends on the products you have. I had lip gloss, I had small products, so I could just take cash. I didn't need a whole payment processor, and the payment processor does take off a percentage when you make a sale. So I was like, no, I have small products anyway, so I'm just gonna take cash. But if you have bigger products or products that cost more, then you could use a payment processor. You consider Stripe. So Stripe has one. There's other ones. I just don't know. Chime. I'm just calling out names. I know Stripe has one though. So payment processor or cash. If you're using cash, then you need to also get change for your customers, because that's what I was worried about. I was like, if they come in here with big bills, I do not have any change for you. This is only $4. And you have to be able to give your customers change. You can't be like, sorry, I don't have it. Just give me more than you're supposed to. Like, you have to have change. So I would recommend also getting change. So that's payment method. And then we're going to talk about also the plan. You need to write down what's your profit, what you are expected to make, and how many you want to sell, because then that would make you pitch your brand more, be more out there, and go to sell. I wish I did this, really. For my next one, I really will do that, because you can't stand there and wait till the customers come to you, because they will smile and look at your table and then walk away. Like, no, they're not buying from you because you're not telling them, you're not talking to them, you're not pitching to them. You need to talk to them, which I wasn't prepared for that. I knew I had to talk, but I was totally not prepared. Like, with this, your communication skills have to be on point, because you have to sell to them, you have to talk to them, you have to build a connection. And that's mostly the challenging part in like business or like the vendor events, is actually talking to your customers and being like, oh yeah. I mean, for some people it's great, it's easy, it's quick, but for others it's like a little bit scary. You actually have to talk to them. You can't sit there. You have to grab people to your table. I saw other vendors do that as well, and I was like, let me do that. But then I just don't like pressuring people, but for business, you gotta pressure them, you gotta make that sale. So I definitely will work on that next vendor event. You gotta pull people. You gotta be like, hey, come check this out, we have a deal and it's going blah, 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 blah. Me, I feel like I got lucky because it was like, oh, she's a girl. I was the only kid at my first vendor event, so I feel like they're all like, oh yeah, let me buy. That's how I got lucky, but that's not always gonna work all the time, because my second vendor event, which I kind of made myself, it was mostly catered. I wanted to have a vendor event that catered mostly to kids, so there was other kids there, so it was not like it all catered to me because I was the only kid. So I still should have pitched more at that vendor event too. Also, for my first vendor event, I'm just switching about me, my experience. I had my first interview also because my dad does podcasting. So he decided to interview me doing my first event. Well, he interviewed other people there, but he was doing interviews. And I was a vendor there, so I had my first interview. That was so nervous. I still, to this day, laugh at myself when I see that. This is so funny. Should I insert the clip? I'm still yet to post that. Literally, because I'm so embarrassed. I was nervous. I was like talking like, yeah, you should buy because when I'm nervous, I move my hands. So I was like, you should buy because it's popping and it's I don't know what was going on with me. But I will, if you want to check that video out, I will find the courage to post that video, really. It's only my first interview, literally, so I can't be so hard on myself. But yeah, so you gotta pull people and you gotta make sure that they know about your products and know your brand, and make sure, which I was doing when everybody was coming, I was like, follow my Instagram, you gotta, I think it was follow my Instagram, get the other one half off. I don't know if I did that. There was like, my mom was telling me, somebody, I don't remember, she was telling me that it would be too much to kind of keep track of, seeing if they followed, seeing if they did this. I don't know if I did that, but I also want you to do follow my Instagram or follow, just subscribe to my YouTube and you get half off from product. You can do that too. But when people came over, if they didn't want to purchase, I get on my business card and I was like, oh, you should just follow my Instagram to keep track if you want to look at anything and if you want to purchase in the future. So I made sure I got like people following to my Instagram, people following to my newsletter. Also, that's good too. It's a good way to get a newsletter. I was gonna have people write down their email and things like that, but I wanted to kind of avoid like what is called kickbacks or something when it's the wrong email spelling, and I would just be like, great. So when you kind of have a profit, you kind of write down how much you want to be profitable, what is your expected goal to make during this vendor event, how much you want to sell, so you can kind of like get out there and be more like, okay, I have this goal, I need to go out here, I need to sell 50, I need to sell 90. You got to make some goals, realistic goals, and actually get to that goals. Only if my past self is listening to this. Wow. Now the cons at the end is pricey. So what I was saying, it is pricey, it is expensive, risk of losing sales, the risk of not making sales, not reaching up to your goals, just a lot. And it's really time consuming because I was preparing for my vendor event a month before, trying to get everything ready, trying to put everything together, and I was still late and delayed the day before, or one of the 2 days before, trying to kind of put my table together, and that was still all that. So you need to, it's really time consuming to kind of make all of that. Then you got to consider how you're gonna get the products there. I was going from Jersey to New York, so I had to go somewhere that was closer to New York, but it still wasn't closer. It was a 4-hour drive, 3-4 hour, 2.5 hour drive there. I had to go there. I had to take all my stuff in bags and take it there. I think I had it in a suitcase. Yeah, I had it in a suitcase, and I took all my stuff there. And you gotta consider that type of transportation too, depending on if you're local. It depends. All things that you have to look at and research when you're picking the vendor event. I think I talked about all of the stuff. I talked about calculating the table costs, figure that out first, then making a budget, inventory, quantity, decorations. You put out your price and your sales when you're kind of figure out how much you want to sell to your customers. How much is that? You want to mark up, you want to keep the same, but you want to kind of make some deals to get sales faster. And payment methods, cash, payment processor, table setup, set it up the week before, the month before even. Don't do it the week before, the month before, in advance. Set up your table, style, props, all of that. I talked about cons. How much cons than pros. There's more pros because you're making sales and you're connecting to your customers. So there's not much of cons except that it's pricey and that it's time consuming and you might not make that much sales at your first time. So could be risk losing money. But otherwise, I really recommend vendor events. I'm gonna show you guys my little table. I'm gonna show you guys again because I really loved it. And I kind of vlogged. I have a vlog, my first vendor event, so go check it out. I have the vlog there. I wish I vlogged a little bit more. I was just so focused on getting to the customers and not being on my phone. Like, my phone was away. and I was in the customer staying there at the table, making sure they come and they see. And I was just talking to so much people walking around and looking at vendors' tables. So I was mostly focused on that. Oh, also, I didn't talk about merch or like just to represent your brand. You should also, for vendor events, get a shirt with your business name on it or a mask. I had a shirt and a mask, my business name on it, to kind of like be repping Fruity Kisses. I had all that. I had a mask and I had a shirt. So it was really nice. You should also get a shirt with your brand name on it just to show that. Look, this is us, and you should come shop with us because it just adds that more good look to it, because your style, your fit, got your business name. It's cool. It's amazing. I love the experience. I love talking to customers. It was such a wholesome moment, and I'm really glad I got to experience that. Setting up my table, actually going back and forth with customers, taking their sales, packing it in cute little bags. It was amazing. I really liked it. And my second vendor event, I'm glad I got to think of something that can help the younger generation and to help, you know, because mostly all the vendor events I was seeing was mostly adults. So I was glad I got to kind of create something that was mostly kids. Vendors were amazing, each and every one of them, and you guys did a great job. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I answered all the questions. I mean, if you have any more questions, make sure to leave them down below. But I hope I gave you guys useful information that will help you have a successful vendor event as I did. And if you have any more questions, don't forget to leave them down below. I look at the comments and I try to answer the questions as fast as I can. Guys, I need you guys to tell me in the comments, post more, post more. You guys have been blowing up my old video, like how to make chopsticks and how to make chopstick labels. You guys have you guys have blown that up. It's like at 5K right now, and I'm so thankful. Oh my gosh, that's why I need content for you guys, because you guys are here and you guys are still with me. So we'll be back. FruityKissesCo will start this summer. I really want to have a plan to make that, to kind of make something big. When I go to more vendor events, I will do a video on the things I use or what you should use. I kind of really told you the setups and the props, and there's inspiration online, but to show you guys exactly what it is. Oh, and I didn't tell you guys to have a price list. Have a price list that shows the price of your products on there, because you don't want them to over bombard you asking you, how much is this? How much is this? How much is this? Have the price list. The price list is here. So have that price list on your table, right in the front. This is the price. Well, you can have it on your table, like not right in the front, but you want to kind of talk to them and be like, yeah, we have this. It's amazing, and it's only for $4. And then you show it to them. You don't want to like push sales and try to push that selling on them, because that's not good. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.